Hey friends, so I've been getting a ton of DMs from you recently asking how I keep my blonde blonde in between salon visits. If you've been rocking with me for a little while now, you know that I've sworn by Olaplex to keep my curls healthy. But in terms of maintaining my color, I came across this little beauty. This is the IGK Mixed Feelings Leave-In Blonde Toning Drops, okay, that can be found at Sephora. So I picked these up. I've been incorporating them into my wash and go routine, mixing them with my products, and that is what has been keeping my blonde from going brassy this summer. And so if you're interested in seeing how I use these, keep watching. Okay, so I went ahead and washed and conditioned my hair with my Up North Naturals cleanser and conditioner. So I'm treating this just like my regular wash and go. So then next I go in with my Up North Naturals Go To Hydrating Hair Milk, okay? This product is like hands down my favorite, and if you watched some of my previous lives, I've raved about it. So I'm going to show you how I use the IGK drops with this product. So first, actually, here we go. I like to section my hair, whether I'm doing the drops or not, but especially with the drops, you want to make sure that you're keeping track of exactly how many drops per section you're using. So on the bottle, they say 1 to 4 drops mixed in with your product and dispersed throughout your hair. 4 drops would be for someone who has a lot of toning to do. 1 drop would be for someone who's really just maintaining an already toned color. So for me, I'm probably going to be 1 to 2 drops. 2 just because my hair does have a very high porosity. It is very fine, but it does like to suck up product. So I'm assuming that 1 drop is well suited for people with like straight hair, because you can easily dispense it through your hair and you don't have to worry about product not reaching every piece of hair. Whereas with curly hair, it's a little bit harder to make sure that all the hair is saturated and covered. So I'm going to use 2 drops just because that's what I'm going to do. So first I dispense my hydrating hair milk, okay? I'm going to use just a little bit extra, okay, because I'm doing a pretty big section. So that's what this section looks like, okay? Then I'm going to go ahead and take my drops, my IGK Mixed Feelings drops. Now, the first time I opened this, I was not at all prepared. So it looks like this when you unscrew the top. And you're like, oh, that's nice. I'll just like dump, right? No. There's this squishy bottom that you press, and that's what dispenses the drops. So I, like an idiot, accidentally held down the squishy top, not realizing what it was. And I got like 4 drops my very first time. So we're going to be careful now, and you just go ahead and do 1, 2 drops, okay? That's all I'm using. It'll look something like that. And then you just go ahead and mix it in. Now, people with blonde hair who have never used a leave-in toner product before, it might be like, oh my gosh, my hair will be purple. No, you're totally fine. I mean, I used 4 drops my very first time, so it was a little bit darker than this, but you can't even see it. So it mixes in really nicely. It still keeps its consistency, okay? That's why I like this product. You want to mix it in a product that your hair is actually able to soak up. If it's too thick, it's really just gonna sit on top and maybe your hair will absorb some of it. But realistically, if your moisturizer isn't thin enough to actually be absorbed by the hair, like get through the cuticle, you know, it's really not a moisturizer. More of a sealant if it just sits on top. So then I just work it in like that, okay? I spread it on the surface of the hair first, and then I take little like hand batches and I just work through it, okay? This is how I maintain like a level of gentleness with my hair, because it can be really tempting to just like rake it all through all at once, especially because my hair is so fine, but I know that I have to be really careful with it because it is so delicate. Okay, so now that I've dispersed that through my hair, I'm taking just a little bit extra milk I'm not going to add drops to it though, because I've already spread all of the drop product throughout the ends of my hair, and now I'm just going back in with just the milk, working through and getting any like dry patches. This is also where I go in and I focus on the darker hair. Okay, this hair doesn't need to be toned. It's already like, it's dark. It's a little warm. Like, I warmed my base up just a little bit. It's more visible in sunlight when my hair isn't wet, but it isn't something that needs to be toned because the warmth is already kind of red, and it won't start to go orange unless the sun starts to lighten it. For me anyway, that's typically what happens. If the sun starts to further lighten my base, then I might see some brassiness or like some orange. But because it's so dark, the little bit of toner that's mixed into the product is enough to keep it in check. Like, I don't usually have a problem with my warm base. And that's it. So take a look at that. Okay, no signs of purple whatsoever. You don't have to worry about it, and you leave it in and it just does its thing, and I love it. Love, love, love it. So again, if you are someone who needs a little bit more heavy duty toning than I do, or even if you have different sections of your head that need more, like I said, so this being the top of my hair, it tends to be the blondest. Okay, it touches, the sun touches it most often. So if you do start to notice a little bit of bronziness, or you're going to a beach, or you're doing like stuff outdoors. Okay, so I just mixed in my 2 drops. If you're doing stuff outdoors, go ahead and add an extra drop. Okay, so there's 3. I'll show you how the color is a little bit different, so it's a little bit darker. If I mix it in, let me just mix that in. There we go. Okay, so it's a little bit darker, obviously, because it has an extra drop in it. But visually, you can even see, it working. Like, it's a very pigmented toner, which I love, because a lot of times if you use like a blue shampoo, you're gonna be disappointed with its, like, if you just use a whatever, like Drug Mart, Walmart, pharmacy brand blue shampoo, a lot of times it's not going to be potent enough to reverse any brassiness. A lot of times it's just for people who are maintaining a blonde that's already pretty blonde. If you are getting yours from your hairstylist, from a salon brand, that's a little different, because those are formulated to be a little bit more like powerful and in reversing, right? In reversing brassiness and not just maintaining. But if you're getting it from your salon, like your stylist, they should be toning your hair before you leave, so that all that shampoo and conditioner has to do is maintain. It's not really needing to reverse any excessive brassiness. And that's where I think people get the most frustrated with blue shampoos and purple pigment products for reversing brassiness, is that, like, they really aren't meant to be these crazy brassiness reversers. That's what toners are. But this product in particular is really nice because you can mix it in with any product that you already have. So you're buying something that has multiple uses, multiple possible uses. It's not just something that you use every time you wash your hair, or just something you use every time you condition or style your hair. If I'm refreshing my curls and I need to add some of it in there, that's totally fine. I can refresh my curls, mix a little bit in with milk or even my gel, distribute it through to my mid-shaft and ends where my blonde is, and be good to go. And that's all you really have to do. The only thing I haven't tried it in yet is the 8 oil, because not everything mixes well with oils. And let me see if the ingredients are on here. I don't see them. So they're on the box. Like, I still have the box. For people who are concerned though, this is a vegan, cruelty and gluten-free product. It does offer some UV protection, which is great. Like I said, before you go out in the sun, put some in, right? We wear sunscreen on our skin, but a lot of people forget about your hair, right? Your hair needs to be protected as well. petroleum and mineral oil free, which is awesome. We don't, especially if you're a curly girl, you do not want any sort of petroleum, mineral oil coating your hair in the form of a toner, and it would render it useless anyway because it's not actually getting in your hair strands. Paraben and sulfate free. So there you go. Pretty sure that checks off a lot of boxes for those of you who follow the curly girl method strictly. I don't. I like natural products, but I don't necessarily follow the curly girl method just because, you know, I do like to use a really clarifying shampoo once in a while and my hair needs it. But I'm not afraid to use certain products, and I'm not afraid to use butters and oils. So yeah, I think the curly girl method needs to consider the existence of afro textured hair, because we would swear by butters and oils, especially in the wintertime, and for whatever reason, well, I know why, but it doesn't like butters and oils. So I think that would be the main difference here. So as you can see, like, I've gone through my hair pretty quick. Okay, this section that's right on top, it tends to get super blonde to the point of being white. It's kind of hard to see, but it gets really blonde. So I'm really just going to use 2 drops in that section just because it is so light already. And yes, that does, like, it can get brassy. Like, it wouldn't take a lot for it to get brassy, but I'm not going to use the full strength 3 drops because white hair, like, once your blonde gets to a certain degree of lightness, it can start to pull the violet and hold the violet. So I always am mindful of that, whether it's the back of my hair or the front of my hair, because some of my blonde is really light on the ends. I don't want it to pull and hold the violet. I just want the violet to kind of keep it in check. I want it to keep it from going like gross brassy color or like a chicken yellow. So that's about it. So now I'm just going to finish up my wash and go with my styling products, and I will include some pictures at the end of this for you to see. But that's it. So super easy. Would highly recommend these to my ladies who are blonde, have some lightened hair, okay? Even if you're in the process of going lighter, but you've kind of stopped at like a lighter blonde, like almost a brownie, caramelly color. So depending on the level that you're at, of course, you're gonna see different results. For me, this is something that I really love. Honestly, it's enough for me to maintain my blonde. I haven't had to use a toner at all yet this summer, aside from this. So that's a huge switch up, because last summer I was toning maybe like once every month and a half, like 8 weeks-ish, just to keep it from going out of control. So really works well for me. I hope it works well for you. If you give it a try, let me know what you thought. Thanks so much.
I was at the mall on some back to school, trying to cop me a couple pairs of shoes. And then I looked to my left and I lost my breath, cause this girl was so fresh. I really wasn't trying to intrude, but she looked like the type I was into. And I